Hello, today we are building music NFT collection, which is interactive on Opensea because we provided special metadata that lets this site have features like, for example, this one, where we have the play button right on the NFT list. Because here we have six NFTs, and we can play them from here. We have the filters like in other cool collections, so that we can filter through the songs, and when we go inside we can go to the description and see all the properties and also play the track here. So MP3s are pretty neatly integrated here on OpenSea, so it's cool to implement. So let's move to the implementation part. For this we are moving to Remix, where we have our music NFT smart contract. It's using OpenZeppelin contracts library, which you are probably familiar with if you are using Solidity, and we are using the ERC721, so standard NFT contract, and we add three functions on top of it, and we add safe mint for minting NFTs, so we just say to who we want to mint a new NFT, and it increments the counter so that we start with the NFT of index 1, and then it automatically moves to NFT of index 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to provide it here. You don't have to micromanage it by yourself. And we have the batch mint function, which basically loops through this one, so that you can mint, for example, 5 NFTs in a batch instead of triggering this function 5 times. So it's a bit easier to execute the minting part. And the last thing we have is the base URI, and here we provide the base address of our collection that we store on IPFS. So this is the base link in the base part of the URI, and the actual part will be, for example, like 1, 2, or 3, depending on your names of NFT metadata, and that's what we'll be using, and the auto incrementing IDs will be very useful for that. So having said that, you can't use this string, you need your own string here, so we have to upload the repository to IPFS, and we'll be using Pinata for that. But first we need to know how the metadata is supposed to look like. And for this we have the documentation, and when we go to OpenSea metadata structure, you can see that we have all of those properties and they do different things. But we'll use, for example, name, description, animation URL, because you can see that in animation URL it supports MP3 and all of those other media types. And this is how the metadata will look in general. And so we'll have a few more keys here, and that will be it. So I can show you how it looks like finished in our case. So it has the animation URL and it has the image, and both those properties have values of things that we already uploaded to IPFS. But we'll show you, if you don't know how to upload stuff to IPFS using Pinata, in a simple way. So let's move to Pinata. And here we have the upload button, which we should click and upload our folder with metadata. So here we have those files starting from 1 up to 6, because we have only 6 NFTs. If you want, you can create more. And I'm gonna call it music NFT. So it's this one. And I'll go and move back here just to show you that how the structure looks like. So we have the folder, and in the folder we have all of those files without the .json extension, because it wouldn't be supported by our base URI. So to do your own collection, you would need to first to upload the images of those tracks and the actual MP3s to IPFS, and then put those links inside, and then upload the whole NFT metadata folder to Pinata. And when it's ready, you need to copy this CID address, and you can use it as the base URI in your smart contract. So in my case, it will stay the same, and this is how the link will look like. This is how the full link looks like, but we need only base URI, so remove the /1 and keep only this part. Just add the slash here, and the smart contract will put the indexes here automatically, so we don't have to control that. And there's a logic for this underneath in the ERC 721. So now we are ready to deploy the smart contract. And we can mint the NFTs, because if you tried to open this address on Opensea, it wouldn't even show up. I think that we need some NFTs minted first. And even though we have those 6 like blueprints for NFTs on IPFS, they are not minted yet, so they are not useful. They are non-existent. So we need to mint them, and I'll be using the batch mint function to save some time. And you need to know that it won't show up immediately on Opensea. So we can go to testnet Opensea and paste this link. It can take some time, in extreme cases even like hours, but usually it's a bit shorter, a bit faster. But in the meantime, you can see that we have the only owner modifiers, so it means that only owner can mint this address. So it's probably not useful in all of the situations, but if you want to make it so that everybody can mint it, you just remove the only owner modifier and add the limiter so that people can mint, for example, only 1000 NFTs, and that's it, not anymore. And we also have a different alternative solution on GitHub, and it will be more useful to you if you want to create a bigger contract with many more features. I think it's always better to do more complicated work in Visual Studio Code, and Hardhat is a great environment, so we can also use this repository. Link in the description. So now when everything is minted, you can see that we have our collection, and just like in the beginning, we have the interactive play here and all of the details inside. So that's what we wanted to accomplish. Opensea also supports different media types, and we'll be having a video on how to create a 3D NFT. So for example, a car that you can pivot here and look underneath it, on top of it, and inspect all of the elements. So it's very cool, very interactive. So make sure to subscribe, and thanks, see you next time.